on Breaking the Chains. It is a platform where we challenge ideas, question systems, and inspire a new way of thinking. I am Sir Jang, the host, and we create this space for just one purpose: honest conversation. Beyond party and politics, beyond ethnic sentiments, purely for honest discussion as to what we can do to change the status quo in this country. I'm very much pleased to be joined with by Mr. Basiru Njai, is a member of BNT. If you have never heard BNT, and I bet you must have, it is believed for a national transformation. He's an economist and, of course, a mathematician, now politician. Mr. Njai, welcome to Perspective on Breaking the Chains. It seems Njai is still struggling with that internet, still not being able to get us. He's once more gone, and I think it's kind of challenging these days for this country. If you're living abroad, you're really enjoying, and we are here in this country suffering because of so many failed responsibilities that which we should have done now. We didn't do, and today we're really paying the consequences of not doing. The world is in crisis, oil shortage, and we must feel the pinch because we're not producing oil and we have not done anything to ensure we have our own sovereign energy. We have abundant sun, which we can really make the best use of to power our machines. During the COVID-19, we were taught lessons, but we never learned the lessons. We were taught that each nation must strive to ensure it builds its own health system in case there is an emergency for health in the global environment. We were taught that if you don't take up the responsibility to produce what you eat, you will suffer when there's a shock in the areas that are producing those food you eat. We have the land, we have the water, we have the resources, we have the manpower, we have everything it takes to be a sovereign people. We have all the energy it takes to be sovereign energy nation, but still we can't do that because we are negligent of our responsibility. And this is why we will suffer the consequences. And if you look at the way we do politics, it's all about politics of sentiments, partisanship. We rallying behind someone simply because we like the person, or simply because the person belongs to our ethnic or whatsoever. So trivial matters that we subscribe to as the purpose for which, or the reason we join someone's political party. This is disappointing, and we continue to suffer the consequences of not taking responsibility. So Basiru is back. Basiru, welcome back. And
yes, Steve, thank you very much. I think today I would apologize to viewers as well, because, it's quite unfortunate from one issue to another.
Yeah, it's difficult. Before I have you, I had another interview which was also the same thing. Internet was just horrible. You could not connect with the other person. So the same thing is happening with you as well. This country is sad,
Sometimes I think it's planned because it cannot be coincident for every other time.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Good to have you.
Yeah. So thank you very much. I think important we discuss some of these issues. When I saw the topic, I said brilliant, and I decided that we engage in discussing about looking for way out. Definitely, just like what we do say every time,
absolutely.
So basically, I would.
Yeah. So if you were to, go ahead.
The economic,
The economic,
has been way of,
way of, globally,
there's
there's a
way of
way
thinking
of
when it comes
thinking
to
when it.
economics. That is in the America, in the UK, in all of Europe, Asia. Initially people were trying to understand exactly what is more important. Is it the individual incomes of people or the national income? Yeah. So recently, like I have said, in the development from the 1945 heading to the 1980, the global perspective was economic strength is determined by what the country has. That is the GDP growth, the gross national product, the level of prices, that is the inflation, the capital accumulation, and all those things. So that used to be the things that people are worried about. But history has taught us that you can have all these things, but still the very most important thing, which is the quality of life of the person, it's what is important. So it has been seen that you know having all these things in place, the GDP growth, you have enough capital is accumulated, you know still some of the times or most of the times it will not impact the quality of life of the people. That is why, for us at the Belief for National Transformation, I would say this and I will say it again. The day we were able to have the development processes, um, I think that was the time, the day that everything started to change and everything started to make sense. That is having the resources, you need structures, you need infrastructures, you need policies, and it has to be able to impact the life of people. And that's the dead end. No matter what, if the life of the person, the life of the people are not impacted as a result of the whatever activity, whatever project you rolled in a country, definitely, we cannot say the economic model, it's rewarding. So that's exactly what we are saying. So in the ancient time, from 44 to 80, around the 80, it was about what the country has. And I can just give you a bit of explanation to this. Having the GDP, it's okay, but there is two pipes that pump from every GDP. And to simplify it for people that are listening to understand what GDP is all about, it's nothing except the amount of wealth of the nation, the budget that the government is able to gather, plus the amount of money that circulates the economy that is not accessible to government. For example, the amount of money Sirif is investing in his mini business, it's part of the GDP, but that money is not accessible by the government. And so do the monies that are in Serakunda market revolving, the monies in Banjul market revolving, the monies in Basa market revolving, all the monies that account for the total production of goods and services. That is what GDP is. But part of the GDP is the amount of money that is collected, that is accessible by the government. We call it a budget. So GDP is the total wealth of a nation. So the total wealth of a nation include the money is in my pocket, the money is in Sirif's pocket, and the money in the Jakati Jakatu's pocket. These monies, if you put it together, is what we call gross domestic product. So this gross domestic product, the growth of this gross domestic product is important. Very fine. We all accept that. But there are two pipes that are sucking the GDP. What are these pipes? Returns to capital. What are these pipes? Labor. These are the two things. That is, there are some people who are injecting money into the economy. They're picking their own money, putting it into the economy. These people, they have returns to capital. When you invest, for example, if you open a shop and you put $100, you are selling 100,000, you are selling. At the end of the 2 months, you have 150,000. So that 50,000 becomes your returns to capital. So pipes that are sucking the GDP, one, it's the returns to capital, and another pipe sucking the GDP is the labor. That is the amount of money you pay to people that are rendering services to you. So we are saying the research that has been done in 2025 in Africa was that the developing countries and the least developed countries, which Gambia is part of, their GDP goes 60 to 70% of their GDP goes to returns to capital. But how many of the people are investing is few. So that means no matter how much money is the country owns, in the developing and the least developed countries, these monies, they go to very few people. So there's growth of GDP, there's a lot of capital the country is able to gather, but it goes to very few people because it's only 30% that goes to the labor. So the labor, this is the money that gets to the economy. This is the real deal. So if you go to the developed countries, it's like 60-40 or 50-50. They're able
able
to,
to,
at least
at least
they're
they're
able
able
to at
to at
least
least,
reduce the
reduce the
gap,
gap
or at
or at
least
least
make it
make it
50-50.
that
That return to
return to
capital.
capital.
No,
No,
even if
even
you
if
go
you
to
go to
certain
certain
countries,
countries,
even
even
in the
in
developed
developed
countries,
countries,
it's
that
30-50. It's
is that
30-70.
yeah. So what do you think is the reason why you can have
It's
the
30-70. That means
resources available, but it's not being, you know, distributed equally, or not might say equally, but it's not felt by the laborer, and also is in the hands of very few people. So what do you think is the reason? Okay,
okay.
I
I
think
think
that, that's important.
so
So
now,
now, just allow me to put my point to rest. Like
like
I
I
said,
said,
um,
um,
two
two
pipes
pipes
are
are
supposed
taking
to be
GDP.
big. One
One
is
is
called
called
loans
loans
of
for
capital,
capital.
one
One
is
is
called
called
labor.
labor.
Now the capital in the developed countries
And this
and
developed
this
country, the
developed
loan for capital,
country,
it
loan
takes
for capital,
more
it
than
takes
labor.
more.
Labor is what goes to the dollar, as we say it. Now, why this happens? We are going to go to a way of a thinking. That is to say, okay, how are we going to like the question you ask is important, like who benefits from this type of setup. I will tell you is the political class. I will tell you it is the NGOs. I will tell you it is the allied investors. You know, um,
Yeah. So I know Basir has been interrupted by his kids. I know he will be back after the settle. You know how it is when you are a parent. Sometimes you'll be in the midst of your things. You see the kids will they come around you, and
yeah. So
you know.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry. Yeah, I understand.
I'm,
I
because
understand. Because I'm using the room now because there's no electricity and the kids are coming. Yeah, and all that. I understand. Parent is
yeah.
always
Yeah.
going to face those things.
So now
Now
I
you're
was saying
arguing.
who benefits from the system.
Yeah, you're arguing. It's like this wealth is concentrated in one person. Is it by design or is by default? Because that's a system. Anybody can struggle and do what they are doing to get what they are getting. Or is it that those with laborers are denied, or they have no alternative to ensure that they have a share of the wealth that is being concentrated in the hands of few? Because if it is, for instance, in a kind of a democratic setting, people are free to either sell their labor or to use their labor on their own self, and then create their own products and services, and then get from the share of the wealth that is available. So, do you think that this system is built just to get wealth concentrated in the hands of few and then not others?
Yeah. So like I was saying, um, who benefits? It's like the political class. The investors, and these are very few, a very small percentage of the population. And then and also the NGOs, because these are the people that are getting a certain percentage of the returns to capital, because they are the one investing their funds. So at the end of the day, they're able to recollect from the monies that these people are able to score. So now, the thinking is, if you comes to the way of thinking when it comes to economy, if the quality, the capabilities of the people, the people, that is the ability to think, the ability to have the enough education, to be able to reason well, to be able to solve a problem, the ability, how healthy the workers are to be able to work, and how, good and effective the labor laws are to be able to protect these workers so that they will not be exploited. That is why you go to certain economics, you have some of these, minimum wages and all that, so that they're able to that these people are not being exploited. And that is, here we know that, in businesses we try to say, okay, there shouldn't be any dominance, because with dominance we know that the business guy is exploiting the consumers by setting excessive pricing and all that. So it's the same logic here when it comes to capital investment. You invest and then you want to get more of the returns of the investment, you want less to go to the people. And the way the people are benefiting from investment is when what you pay them as labor. And then so if you're able to pay them less, that means you are getting more, because out of the profit that you're able to raise, it's what you use to eject into the economy. So now, getting that rationality, that rationale about economy. Now, you see that the reason why it is set up this way, that is why sometimes in when it comes to politics, we are always very, very, very attentive into some of these things. Because the good question is, you ask yourself, why is the system set up in such a way that very few are going to be better off and the masses are going to suffer? Why is it set up that way? Okay, so now, why is it set up that way? If you looked at it, taha dama si sa yaay, maa ngi waxtaan. So why is it set up that way? It's because these people, they want to continue to enjoy. And then can I break for a minute? Let me just sort out this kid and come back. Okay, Sirif, I'm back. I'm sorry, this is called I'm not getting you. Hello? I'm not getting you.
Hello, Basit. I even forgot that I forgot that I muted my mic, so I've been talking all the while when there was nothing coming up. Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is called family. Now they don't give us life, so as a result, the kid, I have to come to the room, and the kids are coming, and then you know
yeah, I
making
understand.
some unnecessary.
Yeah,
you know,
I understand.
solely on
So we understand now that the system, economic system we are in, is the one that is concentrating wealth in the hands of few, and then the greater masses of the people will now struggle uh, with the little resources that are available for them, right? And therefore, we cannot question why do we have to have too much crime, too much, poverty, pervading the society. And looking at what you have just said, do you think we have an alternative?
Say it again. I do not get that. Do not
I'm
get.
saying, looking at what you have just said, do you think there is an alternative?
Yes, there is an alternative, and that is what why PNP is on board. You know, politically,
Okay.
actually trying to say, okay, there is a way out. But Chief, I just want to roll you through a basic concept here, and I think it's very, very important for people to understand it.
Go ahead.
Right now, the current economic model in the country is what we call trade conduit. That is, we import, we re-export, and we facilitate for passage of goods in and out of the country. So there are three things that as a result we still survive. There is what we call tourism and drive people to the death. If there is no tourism, there is no remittance, there is no debt. Today, the Gambia is called a bankrupt country. These are the three things that make us still survive: remittance, tourism, and debt. I think today in the morning I made a video around debt. It's very serious. Each of us is paying $415 per month
Yeah, but
in
sorry.
contributing in the servicing of the
Sorry.
debt.
I using a speaker because it's recording. There's an echo. When you speak, there's an echo. I don't know whether you're using a speaker.
Maybe it's the network. I don't know.
Better now?
Yeah, I was thinking you are using a loudspeaker.
No, I'm not using a loudspeaker.
I'm not using a loudspeaker.
Okay, go ahead, proceed.
So what I was saying is, if the Gambia is a trade, they call it the trade conduit. Why? Because it's all about import, re-export, and ensure that there is passage of goods, in and out of the country. So this type of economic situation, it's only possible if there is remittance, there is debt, and also there is what we call tourism. These are the three things that rescue this economy. And I can tell you, even if you looked at this budget as we are speaking that runs this country, they tell you the deficit is 1%, but that is a technical deficit. Because if you looked at it, without the IMF contributing, without the World Bank contributing, without the African Development Bank contributing, without the projects that they have already, that projects that are in town, that they've calculated the watts that they are contributing to the projects, which is 14.4 billion. As we are speaking, the deficit will be around 9% and more than 20 billion dollars of the total budget that we're using to run the country. So what I'm saying here is that okay. So now as how researchers or politicians or whatever, you now trying to, okay, what is the solution to this problem? Sometimes it's quite unfortunate. You listen to even some politicians or some researchers industrialization. The Gambia is a very small country.
Yeah,
and it's
before we go
surrounded
to
by giants.
industrialization, before we go in there, you talked about all the debt. Let's say Gambia depends on tax and uh, the rest of it. That is the foreign aid, which could be debt or financial or grant. They some might call. But what do you think? Do you think this country can survive without these things? Because as we speak, we are so much in debt, and we pay a huge amount of debt to. Today, the network is really bad.
Yeah, it's, so you are saying before
Yeah.
industrialization.
So
We are saying before industrialization.
no, what I'm saying is, before you get there, because looking at the country status, you have tax. That's what we depend on, and grants and loans. These are the three things that we depend on. So what? Because before we talk about industrialization, I think we have to look at within. Are we able to have the funds for industrialization? Because you might say you might have a counter opinion as to people are talking about industrializing this country, but industrialization has to come with capital and the human capital required as
Yeah,
well
yeah,
for
Sirif,
that.
that is the contradiction. That's
That
what
is
I'm
the
trying to say.
contradiction. That's what I'm trying to say.
When
Okay.
you say industrialization, there is a problem. That
There
means
is a problem. That means
they don't know the country that they want to
what
govern.
they want to govern.
You need to first of all know the country
People
that you
know the
want to
country
govern,
that you
so
want
you
to
can,
govern. You can
design a
design
model,
a
an
model, an
economic model that
economic
suits
model
the
that
country.
suits the country.
Like what I'm
Like
saying
what
is,
I'm saying is,
Gambia is not
let's
poor,
know that
but it is
Gambia is
poorly
not poor.
organized. The Gambia is not poor, but it is poorly organized. So this is as a result of the people that are ruling the country. They don't know the country enough to be able to design a model that suits the Gambia. Like what China used to say. Um, if you looked at the book written by Mao, it is telling you, you know, every route might be, every route might, um, take you to Rome. But every country should be able to design their own path that is going to um, be in line with their economic conditions, that is going to be in line with their history, and that is going to be in line with their resources. So that is very, very, very necessary. Without that, it's like you are just trying
You are just
to
trying to
imitate or
imitate
mimic
or mimic.
an economic model might not necessarily be in line with exactly your economic situation. I don't know if you were getting me, because you've been lost a bit. Were you getting me, Serif?
Yes, I'm getting you.
I cannot hear you.
I cannot hear you.
I'm
Yes,
getting
so
you.
what I'm saying is
Yes,
like
so what I'm saying is like
that is a normal slogan. People say no industrialization, because there is no industrialization, we import 80%, we do this. No, no, no. If you industrialize, you have a problem, because you are surrounded by giants who are doing very well with their industry. It's gonna take you a long time, and we don't have the time. Every economic development or every economic model or every development logic should be built around the geographical advantage of that country. Sirif, there are things that you can do very well by nature. Anybody who wants to compete Sirif with that is going to find it very tough. Imagine, like I told you the last time, or I said to somebody, if Messi was not a player, a footballer, if he was not lucky enough to be a footballer, then nobody would have known Messi, because then he's going to be in the wrong place. That's what we call core values in every human being. There is Sirif has something that he can do better than any other person in the world, or most of the people in the world. And if Sirif is lucky enough to be doing those things that utilize that quality or that credentials, that is where Sirif becomes somebody that everybody know and recognize in that field. But if Sirif is good in teaching and Sirif happens to be in the hospital, then you're not going to be the best doctor. So we are saying every country by nature, you have a certain advantage by the design. In the Gambia, what is our advantage by design? That is what everybody need to know first. Then your economic model should be built around the design. I don't know if you're getting me, Sirif. First of all, it's to recognize and know the country that we want to rule first. You know the Gambia. What are the resources? Just like what Grandpa Mao said. He says,
so what do you mean knowing? What do you mean by knowing the Gambia? What do you mean by knowing the Gambia?
Yes, people don't even know themselves. Some people, you ask them, who are you? They don't know what they're good at. Being a Gambian,
so like you mean
does not mean you know the Gambia.
Okay, you mean we should know the Gambian people. For example, the Gambian should know himself, know the Gambian people, and then of course know the Gambia, what it has, and and the like.
Yeah. So first of all, you need to know the resources that the Gambia has. Because the last time I had somebody saying Gambia, I'm a lot of resources. Every day you go this way, let me understand what a resource means. Resource means like to have gold and hydrocarbon and all that. Even the positioning of the country on the earth, that itself is a resource. So if you would agree with me, being taught is a resource. Being sought is also another resource.
How explain that? Explain that. How is being told a resource and then being shot one?
That is why you're lucky. When they are selecting somebody to play basketball, they say we need the hand. Who has the hand?
Okay.
So you don't play basketball. It means there's a very good picture of you by design that you rescue. So the Gambia strategically, you know that when you fly from Europe, they are coming to Africa. They don't land in Senegal, they don't land in Guinea-Bissau, but they land in the Gambia and they spend almost 2 months. So why would the bats land in the Gambia and leave other countries? That means the Gambia has ecological credentials and environment that they can provide. So I am saying that is why important economic model is called riverine gateway economy.
Tell us about that.
The economy of
So tell us about that.
Say it again.
What is that kind of economy?
Yeah, it's going to be an economy that is purely built on our river.
Okay.
That is why here we are the slogan of BNT is river power. Because the Gambia strategically, it has a lot of advantage, most especially the Atlantic Ocean. That is what we call the riverine corridor. Looking at the interland river penetration, it is one of the countries in Africa that has a greater penetration into the West Africa. So now, if you build your economic model around your river, you are now forcing other countries. That is why the strategic advantage of the Gambia is to connect and contribute. So if you have that ecological advantage, you have the Atlantic advantage by virtue of your river mouth connection with the Atlantic River. So then, and people that are listening to this, some time ago, Senegalese would be the one that is going to using the first ferry. I take it but right now, that doesn't happen. If you used to go to Banjul, you see the Malian people from Guinea-Bissau, every day loading goods to their country. Why? Because of the most of the importers they used to import to the Gambia and they export to their destination. So for us, the economic design we have, like I said, is different. I want to understand that because the debate is whether it is independent economy, trade developed economy, agricultural economy. No. Let's forget about that. The real question is what is the advantage? What is the geographical advantage that the Gambia has? That should be what will guide the development and the economic model of the Gambia.
Now, when we are looking at that, now, what system are you going to use in that respect? Because here we are dealing with the economy that works for this country. Now you are dealing with the geographical location of this country, the advantage we have, and now the system of economy. Because if you look at what we are saying, we're having a system of economy in which wealth is concentrated in the hands of the few. Now, what economic model are you going to build to ensure it works for this country, works for everybody, and not we're having wealth concentrated in the hands of few, using the model you have, that is the river model you want to purport?
Yeah, like if you look at our model, it has three phases. One, it has the physical span. That is to ensure that we build the structures in place. To ensure that the port is not a terminal, but it's a logistic hub.
Okay.
There's the difference. A terminal and a logistic hub are different. So first of all, we have to ensure that we have the infrastructure and then we have the bank. I don't know if you know that, but we should have a feeder traveling goods from Banjul to Basse. Banjul to Farafenni to Soma, and this should be the river corridor.
Okay, that's fine.
So we should be able to have the anchor in Banjul, offload and unload to the barges, and it travels them either solar or whatever, where it is, it's going to be easier for the businesses to come back to Mali, to Bissau and whatever. Now that advantage will force businesses to use the port of the Banjul to utilize that services that you have. So I'm just giving you a bit of a description so that you understand. You have to have the physical spine. That is to have the infrastructures in place. That is to use the change the terminality of distribution to logistic hubs, and then put all the infrastructure in place so that movement will happen. Like I said, the advantage of the river is not to use it as down, like what debating. That is to be able to utilize it for movement of goods and services. So right now, in our model, you have to have nodes. First of all, you need to have the gateway. Then you need to have the port and the finance. You need to have the processing and export nodes. You need to have the heritage and trade nodes. You need to have the agri processing nodes. Then you need to have an economy. You need to have the resource frontier. These are going to be distributed different in the Gambia. And now what we need to do is to ensure that for all this physical time, we ensure that the law of the World Bank and IMF, we don't export raw materials. We export, materials that have been, produced in Gambia and value is added. I mean, process goods. Now, we ensure that every movement between the north are going to be additional value and is going to be done by Gambia, or is going to be done within the Gambia. And then
now looking at the the realities we are micromanaged by IMF and World Bank, and there are certain programs you want to bring, they will object to that. That these are not wise economic methods because you have some debt to settle, and that will, if you insist, that might cause them to freeze certain or call on their loans, and that will make your economy suffer. So, as we speak, we have so many constraints as we speak, and I believe uh, before getting into substituting one system of economy, we should first uproot the current system of economy we have, which is controlled and managed by IMF and World Bank. So, what do you think must be done in respect to, because these things are brilliant ideas?
I'm not getting you, Sirif.
Thing is, considering the fact that you're getting me now.
Yeah. So
like I say,
World Bank and IMF, there are two ways that any country can interact with the country. Either to interact with you to help you integrate your market, or to interact with you and help you to improve structurally. IMF is never going to help you to transform your country structurally. World Bank is never going to help you transform your country structurally. And North African Development Bank, none of them is interested in Africa transforming structurally. What they are only putting is that they integrate with your market, they integrate America with your market so that American goods can come in. They want to integrate your market with European goods can come in. They want to integrate your market with Asian goods can come in.
So how are you going to deal with them then?
So why?
How are we going to deal with them in that sense?
So that's what I'm saying. So now, what we are like last time, when we had with I did raise that. I said it's going to be a gradual process. If you want to do it forcefully, like you said, you're going to have some of your assets free. So even in fact, gradually, the problem some is they don't have a model. If you have a model within the first week, institute your first five things that you should do. That is good before the system begins to fight you.
Let's say, for example, give us an instant, like, because if IMF is sitting here and say, okay, I'm going to look at what you're going to, what the economic policy you want to bring here forward. You bring it forward. Now tell us, what steps do you think we need to take in that sense now? What steps? Gradually, how do you want the gradual process of doing it done?
First of all, if you want to keep IMF out, you need to integrate your economy. You need to ensure that you integrate the formal sector and the informal sector. They start to work together.
Like how?
Now. First of all, you need to change the procurement rules. Number one, for example, I'm giving you the technicalities involved in the case. First of all, there's going to be energy reform, and there's going to be reform in the procurement rules. Number one. So number two, what you're going to do is you do a fixing of the very structural issue that disrupt the local people from accessing goods and services. And that is
if we are looking at the structural, the procurement rules, what do you think is going on in the procurement rules that is really not helping us, and it needs to be changed, and so the model you are proposing will be able to work very well?
Okay, so like you asked me which procurement rule are you going to push out?
Yes.
First of all, it's just to ensure that there's radical transparency.
Okay. So like in procurement.
Because once it is transparent, then you solve the problem. The procurement, the reason, but there's two things you need to do first to ensure that everything is competitive. There's no single sourcing. So single sourcing is what they do to be able to make things scalable. When you are doing your certification of your bid, you like such that company X is the only one. Just like if I say I want to install these glasses, and I describe exactly the one I want. So, but let me just say I want it. This is over 80, whether tall or short, not beers. But if I describe the exact thing that company X does in my specification, that means I want company X. So these are things that we just need to put. You have the basics of the things that we do in our research, how always some of these processes. So now we say ensure that the procurement rules are going to change, and number one is transparency. Because procurement is one of the tools that is utilized to invest in all the sectors. So that's number one. Now number two, that's what I'm saying. The program and fix some of these structural issues. With the market, and that is the local government area. We ensure that markets have access to funds. Players, they are operating within the rules, and that is going to be an integration between the local government and the local government and the cabinet. I mean,
the central government.
Yes. So now, yes. Hello.
The central government, right?
Central government. That's the word I'm typing. So central government, local government to be able to do the quick fix, so that markets are going to operate, and the trade network, the local trade network are going to integrate the market, so that these trade networks are going to the businesses guys will have trade networks, disadvantage. Some of them that don't have certain So first of all, the economic model we are thinking, like I said, anchored on one change procurement, change procurement, and also what is the other one right now? You change procurement, and then you ensure that the procurement rules are very transparent. Number two, you ensure that you do a side fix to some of the ensure that the network are accessible to everybody, because some of the local people have not brilliant ideas. They have the understanding of the business. Sometimes they are constrained by the people. They don't have a warehouse. They don't know the people. They cannot access credit and all these things. They don't have access to finance. You finance things, and then you are now beginning to ensure that the local people that have the knowledge are now going to have access to the trade opportunities. And now, by the time you are now trying to ensure that at the policy level, we are trying to bring in all the BNT projects, ensure that the economic integration. The Minister of Trade, Minister of Education, Minister of Agriculture, Minister of Youth Transport. These are ministries that we have in and then they have the same strategy, objective and implementation. So this once they are in Hopna, that means we are going to now use the government data, the data that we get as a result of being present, the data that we get as a result of doing the day-to-day activity of government. We use that data to ensure that the build-up utilizes this data, so that we are not in limbo. We know that we are doing exercise to fix ABC, that we see from the data drafts, from the data analysis we have done. You know, the problem in the Gambia here, there's a lot of data, but it's never utilized in assessing, you know, this ministry, this department, and the agencies to be able to have a proper diagnosis of what is making them, you know, being effective in what they do, also blocking the problem.
Yeah, so
if I am to sum it up for you, the economic model is called what we call riverine economy, and the riverine economy it's developed such that, you know, operates in a very simple framework, that is to ensure that we have phase one. And then phase one is to ensure that we have phase two is to ensure that we have a value architecture. That is to ensure that every raw material that we have to add value. And that is going to result to us being able to, you know, structurally transform, you know, these sectors so that people are going to participate. And we are able to capture the value that is coming from the sector. We have quad, that is the sand. Instead of exporting it, we want to do, you know, the processing here so that we can pick up the value here. We have granite. We want to process it here so that we can capture the value here. So that is exactly what we call the value capture. And the last thing is the institutional integration, to ensure that every governance, every ministry working in is going to be, you know, expelled, and then we integrate the ministry. So this we don't because I will tell you this thing. The reason why we are only careful when it comes to some of the development, because it's more or less impossible. Because we know that the rules and the procedures are the problem, not the face. That's why we say face is not going to be. We know that rules and procedures are the problem. And now, you know, the people that are defending the vulnerable people, the people that are affected are the political class and the elites. So you want to remove them so that you be able to remove the procedures and the laws. And then the same procedures and the laws are the ones that you want to use to remove this guy. And that becomes the double contradiction that everybody has to face. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah, I'm getting the points. But now if you look at the system, the bureaucratic system now, you know, and the ways the regulations are set, if you had to remove somebody from a position, what justification would you bring to remove that person from the position? And if you just want to tell somebody, okay, we are just moving you without any reasons, and then people start to jump there and say this is unconstitutional, and somebody can say my right has been violated and all that stuff. How are you going to manage that kind of bureaucratic system and that kind of attitude, that civil indiscipline that is pervading the entire civil service?
Yes, so this is going to be the problem. And I think it's something that everybody needs to face. Who definitely wants to change this content. You are going to win. Let's say BNP is the next government in 2026. By the time you get to the office now, you find that every other lawyer is thinking in the old days. The judges are thinking in the old days. Economists are thinking in the old days. So, permanent secretaries, they are all thinking in the old days. And these are technical people. So how are you going to treat them? That is a very big challenge.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is why we are saying we want to have a design that you have before the system realizes
they've already at some point hooked.
is going to fail, just like what happens to Congo. You need to have a legitimate design. What are the 5 things you do in the first 3 months so that before the system begins to fight back, you already hooked them.
So, what are those 5 things?
Yes, this is very interesting. Anyway. Yeah, but to tell you, Sirif, we already have everything intact. BNT have everything.
So you're not going to say those 5 things to reveal it to the public?
Yes.
So that one is a strategy you want to keep.
Yes, so this discussion is very technical because I'm trying to give you the whole model of BNT. I'm trying to all that. It will have been more comfortable. We have a face-to-face discussion, like what Amadou Ba was asking for the last time. Let's have a debate. I think in the Gambia it's time to have a debate.
Debate, sure.
Big mind. Let us sit in a platform. The whole Gambia comes and we debate this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? Because, like I'm saying, you have these people that are winning. You have the business allies. You have the NGO. These are all winning. If you now want to bring in a system that is going to go against them, they say no. That is why the politicians will give you money. So that, a system that has been here for 60 years, that has never given you anything, you are not going to reject it for nothing. If you should reject a system like this, politics of clientelism, politics of patronage, you should reject it. You should reject it for something very solid and genuine. So that's why Gambia, even if I don't trust the rest because years of politics has given them nothing. So therefore, $1,000 they receive from the government is what they can see, what they can hold and use to buy rice. So that is better than empty words. So now, that's the reality. How are you? What is the intervention? What is the one thing that you need to do? IMF coming in, it's a whole lot of things. But the BNT, they know exactly what is important and start to disrupt. And what are the one thing we need to do to ensure that we are going to technically, lock up all these possible doors so that they realize that they've already captured. These guys have already captured. They have the ideology, they have the policy, they have everything. But they do not have one thing in the first month so that they could Jomai.
All right, we run out of time, and I think we will have another edition for this to continue the conversation and as to what model people must use so that the way the system is built is too complex, and to destroy it it's kind of so much challenge, and you need so much strategies. And as you say, your 5 steps, you would like to discuss the 5 steps, but you still don't want to say it. But anyway, it was a good discussion. We only have 2-3 minutes for the conversation to wrap. So, in your concluding remark, if you want to put it in summary, just do it in 2 minutes. If you had to advise the oppositions in this country, what do you think they must do to ensure when they are in power, they will not disappoint this country as others have done?
Yes. So what I would say, the Gambia is not organized. It is not organized to serve the people. But it is set up to be able to serve the allies, the NGO, and then the political people. So what we need to do is whosoever is in the play of trying to be the next president, ensure that you need total of the entire thing. We need freedom. And if we need freedom, we need sovereignty. We need to be free
We need
from
to be
IMF
free
and
from
World Bank,
IMF
giving
and
them
World
this
Bank,
loan
giving
that
them
is
this
not
loan
helping
that
us.
is not
We
helping us.
received this
We
loan
received
since
this loan since
1980 to
1980
date. It
to
never
date.
helped
It
us.
never helped us.
So we need to
So
start
we need to
depending on
start
this
depending
country,
on
and
this
the
country,
resources
and
are
the
there. We
resources
have
are
the
there.
youth of
We
the
have the
movement.
youth of the movement.
We have the
We
quads.
have the
We have the
quads. We
savannas.
have the
We have
savannas. We have
the forest.
the forest.
We have the
We have
youth.
the
We have
youth.
the
We have
sunlight.
the
We
sunlight.
have
We have the
everything that we need
everything
to
that we
develop
need
this
to
country.
develop
So
this
it's just a
country. So
matter
it's
of
just a matter of
getting to know the
getting to
country
know the
and
country
getting to be
and getting
honest
to be
enough
honest
and
enough
honest enough
and
to
honest
defend
enough to
that
defend that
the rules
the rules
are the
are
problem,
the
not the
problem,
people.
not the people.
And
And
the same
the
people
same
we're
people
going
we're going
against, they
against,
are
they
the
are the
ones
ones
that we
that we
need to
need to
remove
remove
to
to
change the
change the
rules.
rules.
And
And
we need
we need
to
to
use
use
the
the
rules
rules
to
to
remove
remove
them.
them.
It's
It's
like
like
there's a
there's a
contradiction.
contradiction.
What
What
you
you
need
need
to
to
use
use
to
to
remove
remove
them,
them,
they are the ones that are operationalizing it. So
so
you
you
want
want
to
to
get
get
to
to
the
the
rules
rules
to
to
remove
remove
it,
it,
and
and
you
you
need
need
the
the
people.
people.
You
You
need
need
the
the
rules
rules
to
to
remove
remove
the
the
people.
people.
And
And
when
when
you
you
are
are
in
in
power,
power,
those
those
rules
rules
are
are
the
the
same
same
rules
rules
that
that
are
are
serving
serving
you.
you. And
And
you
you
need
need
time
time
to
to
change
change
them.
them.
And
And
during
during
that
that
time,
time,
you're
you're
also
also
working
working
with
with
people
people
that
that
are
are
already
already
in
in
their
their
blood,
blood,
in
in
their
their
DNA.
DNA,
They
they
are
are
used
used
to
to
this
this
individualism.
individualism.
All right, thank you very much.
So it's
Bigger
bigger
than the
than the
way
way we think.
Thank you very much. That's what we have time for. We'll continue the conversation, and it's a pleasure to have a discussion with you. I like to discuss with you because it's always ideas and uh, things that makes people to think, even to ask more questions as to what needs to be done. I really keep it up the good work. We really appreciate your time, and we'll keep, inviting you to discuss more on what needs to be done in this country. Thank you for taking your time to talk to us. That's what we have for you today, viewers. That was Basiru Njai, a member of BNT, and this is the perspective on breaking the chain. And I am Serif Janga until we come